Huh?
And we're live. It's the Redeye Stream number 186. Tonight we're talking about the Salem witch trials, and we'll probably digress into the European witch trials as well. Just to tell you guys, if you don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't, especially if you're from the United States, the Salem witch trials were a series of hearings and prosecutions of people accused of witchcraft in colonial Massachusetts between February 1692 and May 1693. More than 200 people were accused, 19 of whom were found guilty and executed by hanging, 14 women and 5 men. One other man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death for refusing to plead at all. At least 5 people died in jail. It was the deadliest witch hunt in the history of the United States. Pressed to death. Did he have stacked stones on him, right? And didn't he tell him more? Put another one on, right?
Yeah,
he fucking mocked them.
More weight.
Yes. Yeah, what they do is they get like a board thing and just put stones on top of it, and it'll just crush your chest.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Shouldn't kink shame people.
Kink shame.
Yeah, you imagine if she's like, more, you imagine he's fucking there, splayed out, getting crushed there for the fucking raging hard on. Like, crush me more, daddy, crush me more.
Ew.
Oh, God. That took a weird turn right from the beginning. Holy shit.
I just had to make that.
It's like when a bloody pimple pops, so it'll shoot out the eye of his cock. It would be funny if it hit someone in the eye.
You know that Jacob is going to say don't kink shame people, so I might as well get it out there before he does.
Yeah.
But MC, you said you had an opening statement on this one. Go ahead.
Burn the witch.
Oh, wow. That's short to the point.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wikipedia goes on to say that it was a case of mass hysteria. I don't necessarily think so. And I'm not necessarily buying the ergot poisoning aspect either. I think these girls played on their religious beliefs. They were bored.
I reckon it was the husbands, like they got rid of the first one. Fuck it, she's a witch, and they killed her. And then the rest of the husbands went, "Hey, you know what? Worked for him. Let's see how petty we can get away with."
But the thing with the first one,
I want to root the young Sheila in the village. Fucking, my wife's a witch. Yeah.
The thing with the first one, though, she had 3 different husbands. She wasn't accused by her husband initially. She was accused by villagers initially, and the court said she's not a witch. And then by the 3rd husband, she was accused by the husband. And the reason historians believe that she was a witch was because she had gambling in her house and the way that she would dress, because she wore red bodices and clothes that were not appealing to the villagers.
They weren't Puritan enough. Because we are talking about Puritan society here.
Yeah, they weren't modest.
So in other words, she was a hoe, and they just killed her for that.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, no, wasn't I thought the first person accused was the slave. I don't remember her name right now, and I don't want to switch the wiki right this second. But I thought the little girls. Oh, okay. I was gonna say because she had done like some of her native, I guess, witchcraft with the girls to entertain them. And that she told them stories and all this of where she came from. And then all of a sudden the girls started to spaz out and fucking act like they're possessed, right?
Well, that was part of it. The thing about it is there's a lot we don't really know. All right, about all of that, to be honest. But
well, wait a minute though. Let me stop you right there. I thought they kept detailed records.
Okay, but
I thought we have all the records of this.
You have records of what they decided to write down. All right?
Mhm.
For example, the girls that were saying that they were possessed, okay, they don't know if all of a sudden one of them suffered at one point an epileptic fit, or whether or not they were playing with it, playing around, and there's a lot of speculation.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
is all doing it. So that would be like epilepsy doesn't spread by touch. You
No.
know what I mean?
No, it doesn't spread by touch, but if somebody has an epileptic fit, and then they can put it down to you know, I was bewitched. This is how a lot of this stuff can begin. Now, the reality is regardless of how it started, okay, it was used. It was used in a political point. The guy who died who died because he got pressed to death. If he would have admitted to witchcraft, right, he would have lost all of his land, which is why he refused to admit to witchcraft, because if he died this way, then at least his family could claim that land. It didn't go to the quote unquote powers that be, all right, to claim their land, to claim his land as theirs.
Which in the village of Salem, there is a city of Salem and a village of Salem. This happened in the village. It was mainly ran by the church, right?
Yes. I mean, the colony itself had grown. It started as obviously the Massachusetts Bay Colony and expanded from there.
Well, from what I'm reading, it says some suggested theories are conversion disorder, epilepsy, ergo poisoning, encephalitis, Lyme disease, unusually cold weather, factionalism, socioeconomic hardships, family rivalries, and fraud.
And I'm going with the fraud argument. I think these girls were bored. They heard those stories and interest them. The parents probably found out, shut it down immediately, probably punished the slave. And then they got mad and they fucking retaliated. Because didn't they accuse their own stepmother or something like that? One of the girls?
They accused several people in the village. At which point, like I said, I think at that point it got out of control, and people then said, "Well, this gives us an opportunity as well."
And they did use now I'm going to end up butchering this, the Malleus Maleficarum as their tool for actually diagnosing witchcraft, right? They still were using that at that time. And for everybody that doesn't know, that book was written in, let's see here, when was it written? 1486, and it was issued out in 1487. It's Hammer of the Witches. It is a guide for catching witches, and that's what it is. And I believe they were using that as a tool in their arsenal as well, even at the point of the Massachusetts colonies.
Oh, well, that was also one of my old D&D characters.
It would be. It would be. Memes, you're up in that neck of the woods. You ever been to Salem?
Yeah.
You ever go on Halloween, or don't they do like
I've gone around, but not actually on. It's actually supposed to be a really badass place on Halloween. All I know is Salem's a beautiful place right on the ocean, but a lot of the old houses there, you can tell they're like really OG houses because like the steps are wicked steep, man.
They're also narrow.
Well, yeah, I think people were a little smaller back then. Kind of like Sargon sized. I'm sorry, that's an add-on.
It's accurate though.
You know, Snickers should do that. It says snack size to make it Sargon sized.
Oh, we're terrible people.
What, did someone leak a picture of Sargon's dick and it actually turns out it's a fun-sized Milky Way or something?
Oh man, let's not talk about Sargon's dick.
Size of Milky Way. Gee.
The size of a Milky Way. The color, the size, the texture.
Jesus Christ. I thought we were talking about the Salem witch trials.
This is the Red Eye. Come on, we'll wrap it back around somehow.
It's
Was
the
one of
Milky
Sargon's
Bar.
ancestors burned as a
Milky
witch?
Bar left.
It'll be wrapped all right. Creamy milk chocolate.
Oh, boy.
You almost made me spit out my beer. That's a fucking foul. There's a flag on the field. All right.
We have-
Hey,
we have
everybody,
to
guess
get
what?
Sargon.
Tomorrow is, or not tomorrow, the 15th is Oz's birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to my husband Oz. 'Cause he
Happy
will be
birthday.
listening.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Someone's
birthday.
someone's definitely got to do this. You got to get fucking Sargon to say a soundbite with him saying the Milky Bars are on me.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, all right. Let's get back to witch trials. So they had been doing this long before Salem, all right. You know, in Europe, it had swept through the European continent. Germany burned how many people at the stake for witchcraft? I don't think we can count, right?
Oh, well, they burned many, many more for various different reasons.
Well, we know the Germans like burning people, all right? I mean, that's fair.
Well, so did the British. Let's be fair. Joan of Arc.
Yeah, I was going to say, did they burn Joan of Arc?
Have you been to the motherland? It is fucking freezing here. We don't have anything else to use. The black people?
Jesus
What?
Christ.
How are we going to
Oh,
get
you're
this
from
to
Transylvania? Wait, what were we talking about?
Which
I
is
can't remember.
Oh, I like witches.
Salem witch trials.
Of course you would. You like everything.
Well, not everything, and I also kind of live up in the area.
Yeah, you should know more
Are
about
you
this than
claiming
all
to
of
be a
us.
witch?
You
What?
should know.
I think
Are
that's
you
warlock.
Are you claiming to be a warlock? Are you claiming ancestry here?
Well, I mean, if you're talking Malleus Maleficarum, I mean, that was my dark wizard.
That is blasphemous. You named a fucking wizard after the fucking book that hunted witches.
No, my DM did. It was his original character, and then we were basically doing like the prologue and the actual leveling up campaign and stuff. He was actually like one of like the ultimate bosses in our original campaign, and then we were kind of doing like the OG actually playing it out.
Okay, anyway. So you should know a little bit about the Salem witch trials, at least, memes. With is there any way to meet them in the middle on this one, buddy?
What are you meeting them in the middle for? It's not like a level where you just kind of float in the middle of stuff. I mean, folks were getting killed and shit.
Yeah, but I can take it or leave it.
Yeah, you can't compromise, though? There's no room for compromise here. I mean, how about they only burned, or they only hung half of them? I mean, come on. That would have
that
worked
doesn't
for you, right?
usually work out well for human beings. I think we learned this long ago in some biblical tales.
So we found where memes draws the line. Hanging witches. That's where he draws the line.
Hey, dude, Bewitched was one of my favorite shows growing up. I got a soft spot for him.
You have a soft spot for
You have a soft
pretty
spot for
young ladies.
What?
And base mama.
That's a factual statement.
God.
Is base mama a witch? I'm not going to spread that rumor. Never mind. Scratch that.
She might be a druid or something.
No. No. And it looks like the slave's name was Tituba, Tituba, something like that. And the other two people that
Tituba?
were
Is that what you just said?
T-I-T. It's either Tituba or Tituba. T-I-T-U-B-A. T-I-T-U-B-A. The other two had last names of Good and Osborne.
So Joshua said he had a hard on for Bewitched. No, you just like the way she wiggled her nose. Don't give me that shit, Joshua.
It'd be funny if Bewitched was actually about a psychologically unstable woman who has a flatulence problem, and every time she wiggled her nose, she was actually, what's that smell?
Are you saying Elizabeth Montgomery had a nervous tick?
She had Tourette's.
But no, MC. So politically, a lot of the people accused own land, right?
Yes.
And as you said, if they admitted it, they got to live. They would be shunned and exiled and lose their property, though, right?
Correct.
So it was a political motivation after these girls started it, right?
I think so. That's my opinion, is that the vast majority of the ones after the first two initial scare things, I personally think what happened is the girls were messing around, made the accusation, couldn't back out of it now, all right, and then things got out of hand from that point. But after the first two or three initial accusations, I think that the reason they were being accused was strictly by certain individuals who found a way to, make money from it, use society to basically convict people to get their property.
Wasn't a former pastor or whatever also accused during the trials? Wasn't he one of the 5 men that were hung?
There were a number of people. I don't remember if one of them was a pastor or not. I believe so, but I don't remember exactly. I mean, it's been a while since I've been there, but I did visit Salem.
Yeah, I heard it's actually full of witches now. Like, everywhere you turn, you can get your palm read or some shit. Like, it's kind of funny how it ended up in the end.
Well, to be fair, if you want to talk about mythical creatures, the last time I was actually walking the streets of Salem at night, there were some folks out there Pokemon going around.
Were you playing Pokemon Go?
No, I never downloaded it, although I should have, because there was a drowsy in my ex Mrs. Meme's room, which was slightly ironic because she did suffer from narcolepsy.
That kind of sounds like the shitty presidential excuse there. Oh, no, I played it once, but I never actually downloaded it.
Yeah, he didn't inhale the Pokemon fart.
Actually, I have a random observation. I'm not even sure if it's an observation, but Massachusetts is typically a more liberal state in general, and by that I mean it's not a state, it's a commonwealth. And there were some mistakes made in the past. I think that's fair to say. There have been a number of mistakes made. Is it one of those things where perhaps over time folks feel like they need penance, so maybe they start going heavily in another direction? The only reason I say this is because, let's face it, certain areas, such as we'll go in the middle of Europe, perhaps a state like Germany has also made a number of mistakes over the years, and they seem to have gotten very progressive in many ways.
Okay, so in other words,
just go there?
You basically are now trying to excuse the abhorrent behavior by saying, because we were abhorrent in the past, that's the reason we're abhorrent now.
No, that's not what I was saying. I'm saying folks probably had good intentions, but good intentions doesn't always lead to where we want.
Can you explain to me how that squares Ted Kennedy?
What? He liked clam chowder.
Was Ted Kennedy a witch? I'm confused.
Oh, I thought he was.
Oh, that's why he didn't die in the car wreck. He was able to float. Fucking hell. You figured it out, guys.
He was dating a non-witch at the time. Mary Jo Kopechne was not a witch. She sank.
She was stuck in the car.
He was conducting his own witch trial. He got away. She didn't.
No, he was a dumbass and he was hammered.
Hammer of the witches? Sorry.
Oh, God.
Oh, you know what crowd you're hanging.
Hey, you're the one who said we're going to hell.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to hell. They're fucking scared I'm going to take over.
Oh, I've been there. It actually was a kind of a nice place. A lot of obsidian. I got my picture taken with the devil, or at least his cardboard cutout.
But I don't know. It seems really interesting also that this didn't spread from the village into the town of Salem, because they are two separate things.
Like, are we equating this with some modern things going on, or are we just doing kind of a historical dissertation of it?
I just wanted to talk about witches because it's October, and I had to come up with a topic on the fly, to be honest. So came up with this. So yeah, historically, if you want to take it into modern day witchcraft, we could also do that if you would like. That's a little more fuzzy of an area because paganism, or at least Wicca, is now actually considered a religion in the United States, so it's recognized.
Well, not all witches are furries.
Yeah, a lot of them are fucking shaven fucking lesbians. I mean, have you ever actually seen like a modern day Wiccan fucking gathering and shit? They all have to be lesos because that is the gayest fucking shit I've ever seen.
What? You don't like candles?
It's all fucking sitting around with bloody spirit mother and fucking bloody all this stupid fucking, like, I'm not religious because I stopped speaking to my imaginary friend when I was 3. Grow up, women.
Drop Dead Fred was the man.
Unfortunately, Rick Mayall's also dead.
Oh, and MC, lovely Kitty says shalom.
Shalom, Kitty.
Oh, did you make it to the synagogue today?
No,
I don't think that's ever gonna go away.
Good old Patrick Little. Oh, I wonder if why isn't he outing the witches? They're the real problem. Instead of naming the Jew, name the witch, man. Point these motherfuckers out.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Didn't they hex President Trump apparently, and they were going to do that on a monthly basis?
I forgot about that shit.
He was supposed to just like fall and crash and burn. I'm not sure if that hex is working, so I'm not sure the amount of political actual control that the Wiccan community has.
I think they're helping more than hurting.
Yeah, they messed up on the spell, and they actually are instead of cursing him, they're making him do a better job.
They're going to curse Kavanaugh.
No, they're writing their runes wrong. If they're gonna do it right. God damn, I learned how to write runes a long fucking time ago.
Either that, they got to tell them that, like, getting pissed on by a Sheila isn't such a bad thing nowadays, so they might want to think about another spell.
What do you mean, wait a sec, memes?
So you know how to write runes?
Yes.
So what you're saying?
I learned about a lot of religions.
Oh, see, I always thought you were part dwarf.
Oh, she missed that one, luckily.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. Okay, so Jacob says at Mad Dogs Productions, all right, I named the Mad Lib. Oh,
So
I don't know,
I'm
man.
saying is what?
Mad Dogs likes beer.
No, what were you saying to me?
Mad Dodge is the witch. Since Mad Dodge has been out of the witch, we now need to place stones on his chest, all right, to make sure that he confesses. I'm willing to go get the rock. Anybody else let me get the rock?
Oh, no, dude. I don't know. Are you mundane madding it and getting some boulders, or is this the space rock?
It doesn't matter where I get it from, right? I mean,
Well, if you're mundane matting it, you need to carry a 2-year-old on your back.
Oh, is that what I gotta do?
Was he carrying her on his front or on his back? I don't remember.
I would hope not the front if he's picking up boulders.
Well, one's
squish the baby.
Well, one's a papoose and the other's a frontoose.
Oh, I know. It just like does the whole mud crab thing. Fuck, he just exposes one of his giant man boobs and gets the kid to just bite down on the end of it. hanging there.
Oh, God
Oh,
damn
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Fucking hell.
He's got spare room for one more.
Can someone put a hex on Farty? We need a witch
Children
here.
are not
Stat.
Boston Terriers. They do not have locked jaws, usually.
Oh, you've never met a toddler with teeth coming in, have you?
I have never breastfed a child.
I'm pretty sure if you woke up from a nap and you're looking up to see like POV from mundane Matt's left tit, you'd fucking bite down and clamp down hard at it. Fucking terror.
Oh, toddlers bite with some massive force when they have their teeth first coming
No,
in.
you want to know what the scariest thing in the world is? Scariest thing in the world is you're freaking laying in bed with no shirt on, and the fucking toddler's like, "What's that? A nipple?" And you're like, "No, it's not that kind of nipple." Get away from me.
Wait, MD. So what you're saying is you've attempted to breastfeed a child.
No, what I'm saying is the child attacked
Oh,
me.
so
and I
so
had
you
to
did not
stop
have
it.
you did not give consent.
Yes, no consent, and it didn't get near it. I fucking
Hey.
jumped out of bed. That crazy little fucking
You're a
baby.
kid about 9 years old and was grabbing some Sheila's ass in a fucking Quickie Mart in New York or something
No.
like that.
He didn't grab anyone's ass. He brushed up against her. Trust me, I watched the damn video that MC freaked out about earlier this morning.
I was not freaking out about the video. I freaked out. I was going
Okay,
off
okay.
on
Hey, let's get it back to witchcraft here. And Kitty wants to say something about it. Go ahead.
Oh, hello. Something about witchcraft and a related thing about Santeria. We have 3 branches of Santeria here in Brazil. One that deals with white magic, one that deals with black or white magic, and one that deals with dark magic. So there's a saying here that if Santeria really worked, our soccer championship would always end up in ties because nobody would win. So I don't know.
Oh. Wait, don't you guys also have like an octopus that often predicts the World Cup winner? Maybe that's Brazil.
What?
That is
What?
Brazil. She
Don't
is from
know.
Brazil. What do you think she was just talking about, Beebs? Where have you been?
Oh, I was talking about an octopi.
I think you were thinking of Spain.
Wait, yeah. There's a kraken that protects soccer teams.
No, because if everybody who roots for one team would make some voodoo thing against the other team, and the other team rooters would do the other way around, nobody would win.
This sounds very complicated. Hold on, let me call my friend the witch doctor.
Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ding, dang, walla, walla, bing, bang.
He told you that, didn't he?
Wait, Santorini, or how do you say that?
Santeria.
Santeria. Santeria is how you call it in the United States, thanks to Central America, Cuba, and other countries. Here in Brazil, it has 3 different names. I won't even name them because nobody will be able to understand them. But we have 3 different branches here in terms of this.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which one is supporting Barcelona?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
And which one were you casting?
Which one I was casting? Oh, I would only deal with light magic, so it would be Umbanda.
Umbanda?
Yeah.
Ah.
Umbanda is light magic. Candomblé is a mix of both, and Macumba is the dark magic. They invoke their version of Satan.
Yeah, so is the people that practice the dark magic shunned and looked down upon, or is it
Shunned,
just
yeah.
balance?
Yeah, Oshun.
Huh, interesting. And I thought, is that just like a version of like voodoo or something, or is that like an offshoot with some Catholicism mixed in
It's
there?
a
What is it?
version because what happened here is that those plantations of sugarcane The owners had that incredible amounts of slaves, and they were all Catholics because Portugal is a Catholic country. So they forcibly converted them to Catholicism, and they didn't want to lose their roots. So in their housing, in their lodges, it was called senzala. They had the images of the Catholic saints, and to each one they would attribute the name of one of their animistic spirits.
Yeah, it all sounds like Creole.
So, for example, one is Saint George. They call it Ogun. I think it's Saint Barbara is I forgot. Young Son. No, it's the other one. I always mix them. It's so many of them.
Wait, so Saint George? So is that represented by a dragon?
Is that one that killed the dragon?
Yeah,
Oh.
Saint Barbara, is she represented by some bogan Sheila from western suburbs of Sydney? So that sounds like the Australian Saint Barbara, and her sister Saint Sharon. And their just good friend Saint Karen or Tracy.
Those all sound like American names. I thought you Australians would have some more interesting names.
Well, they're
I
actually
gave the right name,
English
Fianza.
names, God. Because guess who had them first?
What, the leprechauns?
Yeah, no, the prisoners they sent over. Sorry. But no,
you were a penal colony first too, you remember?
No, we weren't well.
Yeah, you were.
Tracy can be a boy's name or a girl's name. Remember Dick Tracy?
That's his last name.
What's his surname?
Yeah, he was
I've
William
met
or
men.
Richard.
Richard
Richard is
There have
That's
been
Tracy
men named
Bird.
Tracy.
Tracy Bird, the country singer.
No, we don't count country singers.
Says the man who actually
fun.
listens to country.
Oh, okay. We count Waylon Jennings and Chris Christopherson and stuff. Johnny Cash. We count those guys.
Darius Rucker was pretty good.
And what was Johnny Cash's name?
It wasn't Sue.
No. What about God, what was his name? That actor, old actor.
Raymond Burr. I'm Minnie Sharati.
But getting back to witchcraft. So that tradition is still very strong down there, huh?
Yeah. We don't have much in terms of the traditional witchcraft like in pagan, Wiccan, because it has Celtic Nordic roots, and this is a different culture because it was founded by Portuguese immigrants. The colonization was by Portugal, so it's a different culture. So there are people that practice witchcraft, but it's not that common like in America, in other countries. And we have colonies of immigrants that are gypsies too.
I still think it sounds all Creole.
Well, it came from the same origins. Yeah, it's like New Orleans voodoo, pretty much.
No,
Yes.
I do realize that side of the country is older than we are, but the whole thing sounds Creole.
Okay.
Or the world,
Party
rather.
in Australia. You guys have witches over there?
Yeah, but we've got the really tame, wanky Disney version of it, kind of bloody teenagers with goth makeup and all this kind of shit sitting around fucking, I don't know, throwing tampons at each other or some stupid fucking, it's really fucking wanky.
So they're using blood magic.
I don't want to go too much into it because, like, yeah, I got about fucking 5 minutes into it at one point there, and then fucking they started talking about eating together and all. Oh, get fucked.
What about the legend of the evil witch that signs her soul off to Satan or whatnot? That's been around since almost the beginning of at least Catholicism. They were always fearing that there was a witch around, right?
Yeah, she came back and did a movie in '97.
You know that
But-
Catholicism and their persecution of witches and the poor cats is directly responsible for the devastation of the Black Plague.
The way that you say Catholicism is adorable.
Because it was transmitted by the fleas on mice, and there were no cats to catch them anymore.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how you were going that route because it spread to the Europeans through plague bodies being catapulted over the walls of Constantinople, and then it spread into Constantinople, and then it left on a trade ship via mice.
Yeah, the
and spread
trade
to the rest of
ships,
Europe.
the mice, and they were brought by the mice, and it was coincidental with the burning of the witches and the cats, poor creatures. And then Europe got fucked because there were no cats to catch the mice until they made the link between what was going on and how it was transmitted. Lots and lots of people died.
See, Jacob?
Here's an interesting thing. It was actually one of the popes that he thought that cats were like evil and satanic, so he banned cats.
Yeah. See there now, Jacob? Furry lives do matter.
Yeah.
No, they really don't.
So what it was basically it was Catholicism that helped the spread of the plague.
Yeah, directly.
Well, yeah, and she is right. They banned cats because of the connection to witchcraft. Cats have always had a connection as a familiar.
No, it was just that one of the particular popes fucking hated cats. He despised them.
Well, I don't like cats, but I'm not going to tell my neighbors they can't have one, or even my wife. I'm stuck with them.
Wait. So what you're saying is we probably had a pope or something that like pulled a cat's tail when he was young, got scratched, and is like, I don't like those small creatures. They look me in the eye.
Pretty much.
Well, okay. If that's the rationale for that, explain what happened to all the ones that are fucking all the kids.
I think that it has to do with the cat's eyes being kind of shining in the dark. You can say they have that phosphorescence in the dark. Yeah.
Dogs will reflect in the light too.
Yeah. I think it was some sort of very primitive superstition going on.
I think it's all superstition. You got to remember, you're talking about people who didn't even understand anything about this kind of stuff. It could very well have been a pope who stood up there and was allergic to cats, and he realized whenever a cat walked in there, he got sick, and that it was so he figured it was putting a hex on it.
Oh, that's true.
Or it could have been a freaking bishop that told him, "Hey, look! Every time I come near these things, there's one in the room. They try to go after me." You're talking about people who, even to the 16th century, people didn't know what caused disease.
What if the bishop was wearing like a hemp-made robe that had a bit of catnip on it?
He may have been. Who knows?
Well, this is the more fucking shitty part of that sort of story that I find is that, like, cats, when they squint at you, they sort of give you that evil eye looking sort of look. That squint is actually them telling you that they accept you. So if fucking a whole bunch of these uneducated fuckwits from back in the olden days fucking saw a cat fucking give him the evil eye, what's the bet? They'll probably go, oh, well, the fucking cat's putting a hex on me, witchcraft and all that shit.
It could very well be that too. I mean, you're talking about an uneducated or unenlightened time frame.
They were so ignorant that the people back then that, for example, that expression in English that don't throw the baby away with the water or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know the origin of this expression?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone had to have a bath pretty much at the same
Because
time.
everybody had a bath. No, first the head of the house, then the wife, then the children, and the last one was the baby. That was, they had so very high a level of infant mortality because the baby was being washed in that soup of germs and bacteria and everything else, and they bathed like what, once a month, once a week, I don't know.
Well, there was typically once a week, and that was before you went to church, and that's where you had your Sunday best. And they didn't actually sort of throw the water out every time they used it, so that bath water could have been used for up to a month.
So
Yeah, so
go ahead.
I just googled up the Pope that did. It was Pope Gregory the IX. And basically, a banned cat, condemned cats to being being instruments of Satan, and by his decree, there was a target on the head of every black cat.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But getting back to that squinting thing, though, if like they were killing cats because of the evil eye thing, that's an even more shittier version of that rationale. Because all the cat's saying is, "Hey, I accept you. You're my new friend. Hey, what are you doing? Don't fucking kill me, you bastard."
Wait, so cats were like a prerequisite to social media and the modern internet? People just didn't understand what they were saying?
Yeah, cats are the original 4chan.
Well, they're natural born trolls.
Yeah, they are assholes. Like earlier, the cat jumped on the counter and knocked some shit over. Bastard.
Cats are dicks.
Yeah.
My cat tries to kill me every fucking night when the lights go out. Every night.
My cats are perfect.
Well, Melissa is in the chat, and
haven't you seen cats?
She every time she catches a cat, she takes it to the nearest Korean restaurant for some profit. So there's an idea.
Vietnamese cats.
I have a black cat actually. It's October and I have a black cat. I should have a Halloween party.
Around here, they tell you every year that keep if you have a black cat, keep it inside. On Halloween.
Yeah.
People wig out.
Poor,
I don't know.
Poor creatures. Yeah. Shelters don't allow the adoption of black cats around this time of the year because they are afraid that they will be sacrificed in some weird ritual. I read about this.
That's because, like I said, people are stupid.
Damn right.
Yeah, well, burning witches was pretty stupid, and they did it for hundreds of years. So, I don't know. There's many different types of witchcraft, really. I mean, if you really want to dive into like ritual magic and stuff, you have people like Crowley. He wasn't necessarily a witch, but he considered himself a fucking master of the occult, so to say. Really, MC? You got nothing to say on Crowley?
What do you want me to say about Crowley?
I don't know. He was pretty fucking bad. I figured you'd have, like, did you get all your ranting out on Styx and Tim Pool?
Well, I was castigated about doing that. So kind of chasing at the moment. Be quiet.
I like MC's rant. I loved it.
It's all right. MC's coming down right now, so he's all right.
My voice is sore.
But I mean, yeah. So when what was it? The Golden Dawn or whatever, or the Golden Circle? What was it called? What Crowley first joined in England? There was a lot of famous people in it.
The Golden Retriever.
The Golden Retriever.
I'm for some reason, I'm just thinking about a Chinese restaurant right now.
Well, that's Korean. The Koreans eat dogs.
Oh, they all look the same to me. Fuck 'em.
But no, I think it was Golden Dawn that was the society that he was a part of initially. But I mean,
You sure it wasn't down
what
like a
did he-
public toilet somewhere and he was actually on a golden dong?
But I mean, here's an interesting fact about Wicket. It was actually created by a feminist who basically just robbed a load of stuff off Crowley.
Why am I not surprised there's a feminist involved?
Yeah. The reason I know this is because one of my friends, his dad runs runs the largest Aleister Crowley group in the country. So he knows quite a lot about Aleister Crowley.
What kind of group? Just like a historical,
Yeah, like a historical
or-
sort of thing.
Okay, I was going to
So-
say, like, or does he read the Book of the Law every day and fucking...
No, it's more like the history and stuff about it.
So I'm looking at my black cat right now, and I'm just making an observation. He's kneading the top blanket because it's kind of fuzzy on my bed right now. That little thing the cats do, kind of like when they're milking like the mama cat. You think that was when folks saw that, they may have thought like, oh my God, he's casting a spell just because they're going paw, paw, paw. Kind of looks like they're doing something.
But this is something that cats do compulsively, even when they grow up.
Well, yeah.
When-
No, I'm
when-
just thinking like if folks were going to think that they're evil, it's like he's kind of doing something. It's like, oh, that cat's casting the spell. Or like all of a sudden he started kneading that person's chest and then that person died.
It's trying to get a piece of my hair out of the quilt and shit so I can take it back to its voodoo doll. But
Oh, man.
yeah, no. Well,
For the last breath.
the kneading part of it, yeah, that's a throwback from the whole milking thing. Yeah.
Wait a second. MD, has your cat milked you?
No. What's wrong with you?
Well, you said your kid tried to.
That was scary shit. I started sleeping with a shirt on after that. God damn it.
Yeah, that bit when Stewie Griffin's asleep and Peter tries to see what it's like to breastfeed and Stewie wakes up right at the last minute. Fucking yeah. Now we know with that was actually based on a true story. Dodge is actually right in the Family Guy.
He's a secret writer for
No,
Family
don't
Guy.
dox MD.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
I wish I was a writer for Family Guy. I'd fucking have a little bit more money. I don't know. Like, I don't know, the Salem witch trials, there's not much to go on there, really, but I really do think those girls set it up in the beginning, and then it turned political. I don't believe it was ergot poisoning, although there was a village in France that did have ergot poisoning, and they all wigged the fuck out. Like, they totally wigged out. They thought fucking there was, like, pterodactyls coming after them and shit. Like, they wigged the fuck out. I don't see those girls acting like that, and because by the court records, they would be sitting there just fine in the courtroom until they asked the supposed witch something, and then they would start wigging out when the person tried to talk. It was premeditated. You know what I mean? Don't everybody talk at once. I hate dead air. Come on. I'm trying here.
Well,
You guys are really fucking low energy.
Hey,
today.
hey, I'm
I
petting
can't-
my cat.
I cannot talk when my kids are around me. I'm not like you. I don't like to do it.
Like MC, it fucking sounds like he came off a 3-day freaking Coke fest and he's coming down. The fuck?
Have you listened? He's got like 3 hours of rants in like the past 3 days.
He has been ranting a lot.
Ranting takes a lot of energy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dodge, did you notice that some Salem feminist retweeted our tweets for the Redeye?
No, I didn't notice that. Interesting. A feminist?
What, for this episode?
Yeah.
Fucking. So if any of you fucking feminist cunts want to fucking come and join us and fucking have a chin wag, by all means, fucking show up. But if you want to come on here and have a big cry about it, then you can go get fucked, you sooky little bitch.
We're very diverse and inclusive, Graham.
I think it's
Sarah
because
Flood Clay.
the second wave of feminism had that thing about the inner goddess. And that it had roots in Wiccan, pagan stuff, and they actually, it wasn't some sort of hippie thing about the inner goddess. They actually were very pro having sex with men and that other thing because of the divine goddess that they had inside.
Yeah, the only real problem I have with feminism is the third wave psychopaths that are going on right now. Other than that, equality amongst the sexes was long deserved, and that's okay. But it needs to be equality, not the woman's still on the pedestal, but you know she gets all your shit and everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Equality should be mean equality, and it doesn't.
Not for feminists. Some of them think that women shouldn't go to prison.
Yeah, that actually.
But it
About a week
actually
ago.
happens. Women get smaller sentences than men for the same crime.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
man.
no.
I actually saw there was actually a case over here in the UK. A couple of man and woman, both charged with exactly the same crimes, same counts, everything. The woman got less than the man did. And they both were fucking convicted of the same crimes.
Well, if you want to look at an example of that, look at all the women sleeping with their students and look at the men sleeping with their students and check out how long they serve in jail. But no, I don't care. Yeah, that's cool. It's someone that I probably, do not align with at all politically. Tweeted this, blah. But I don't know. There's a lot to cover though in witchcraft. Like, there's still some legends of witches in Asia that it's nowhere near like the European style. Like, these are supernatural beings completely, right? I mean, there's a lot of different versions of the witch, especially if you look at the movie evolution of the witch.
I haven't watched it.
Look at movies and look at movies and television.
Variations of witches in movies. I mean, if you look at the different types of witches in movies, there's witches that use their hands in movies. There's witches that have different types of powers in movies. I mean, look at Charmed. Each sister had a different type of power, and their powers grew in the show. There's witches that are, like I said, there's witches with wands. They need their wands or their staffs.
Then there's the witches with flying monkeys and analogy to water.
And then there's the witches there's the witches that don't show up at all through the entire fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I met the evolution of it, I did mean that, but as well as they started off as completely evil. And now you have Charmed and you have these stories where they're actually the good guy in the story, which is really interesting. Kind of like the vampire evolution.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. We're not doing that at all.
OG Buffy for the win.
Buffy is not OG.
What?
Well, they're redoing it, so he has a point.
It's more
Talking
OG.
about the movie.
Bloody, it's more OG than what fucking Twilight was.
Yeah,
I think that the internet, Hollywood, everything, the mass media made all these things more mainstream. No?
Yeah, no, I think they absolutely helped make it more mainstream, and then that's why you saw the growth in Wiccan or Wicca and stuff like that. And there's a lot more people claiming to be part of the cult. MC, you made a rant against somebody who claims to be part of the cult right now. Today you made the rant, against Styx. So I mean,
yeah, but I wasn't ranting. I wasn't ranting against his.
I know his beliefs. I know that.
beliefs.
You're ranting about the military.
Well, I was ranting about his
lack of knowledge.
His like I said at the very beginning of the rant, I wouldn't have said anything if he would have, I would have just left it as an explanational type of point. All right, when it comes to how the military functions and the fact that the military needs to remain apolitical.
Should the military hire witches? They could, cast block spells, and shit like that. Memes knows what I'm talking about. Come on.
No, they will totally dodge a missile. They will cast a spell and the missile will freeze in the air. Yeah.
Well, they could use the flying monkeys for dropping bombs.
Oh, well, the payload's very low. But no, actually, I thought government agencies had employed like psychics and other spiritual folks.
Okay. Psychics,
flying monkeys, drone pilots.
What does that have to do with? They looked into psychics. Right?
Remote viewing actually seemed to work. Even the CIA spelled that out in some released documents.
The documents don't say that it worked. Okay.
There's a lot of cases where when they put the spy satellite over the same spot, the remote viewer actually described it completely correct.
Did the remote viewer have access to said satellite?
No. The CIA wouldn't have done it that way. They were doing a study.
What if they were trolling us?
Remote viewing is kind of a part of that.
Really?
So are psychics, sort of. I mean, I don't know. It's not? You don't think so?
I don't.
Is it?
Okay, fine. You guys aren't fucking talking about shit. Like, I've had more dead air in this episode than ever. So, come on, pick it up.
My husband literally just walked through the door. Do you think I'm going to pay more attention to you or to him?
I'm not. You're not the only one here.
Well, you're not paying him enough attention by the sounds of it. We can still understand what you're saying.
Well, all right. Unfortunately, Atema's not here to go over the basics.
Yeah, the most knowledgeable person on this topic is actually not here.
Well, she said she had to eat. I was hoping she'd be here, but I don't know.
She also said she had a headache.
I didn't catch the headache part. I wasn't there.
Yeah, she got done listening to MC.
She did have a good argument with me, but the thing about all of this, right? I mean, okay. The first question is what's the historical references to it? If you go back, I mean, witches throughout history, right, have been shamans or anybody who said that they delved into magic, and it was always used as as an excuse of, look, I healed you with my magic, and now I own you, or
hold on. Are you saying a lot of like those southern Christendom folk? They're like, by the power of Jesus, you're healed. Are you calling them witches?
Am I calling them witches? I'm saying that if they're saying that they're delving into magic, yeah, I'm calling them witches.
Is that blasphemy?
How is it blasphemy?
Well, I think it'd be more blasphemy on the preacher, because they're invoking the name of God, and it's obviously not supposed to be the right God.
And those preachers that have snakes and stuff, and
yeah,
Pastafarians.
No.
Pastafarians?
No,
This is an older religion.
It's Southern Pentecostals that do that with the deadly snakes.
I knew it had to be.
Pastafarians, they smoke fucking spaghetti.
Nah.
Oh, there's more women that were, I don't know, I would say considered witches because of their beauty, because it would take men from other women like I said, because of their beauty as well.
Helen of Troy was actually, I was watching a thing on her a week or two ago, and they were saying that she actually cast spells and stuff over the men, and that's what ended up happening. Because after they sacked Troy, he was going to kill her, and he took her back instead. They're saying she cast her, a spell on him again, and that's how she got to live. But,
come on, MD. Come on, MD. Are you saying that there are gals out there that can have like an effect on men that would get them to do stupid shit?
Women seduce men all the time, be it through really good looks or really good blowjobs.
Come on, memes, argue. This can't be right. Come on now.
I mean, it's hard to argue. That's kind of a based argument, I guess.
Are men that easy?
Yes.
Have you met men?
Yes, they are.
Yes, I actually have.
Yeah,
okay. Not all.
Most men will do some pretty dumb shit for pussy, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're gay.
Shit just because they got drunk that night. Watch this. Hold my beer. You really want to know the truth of the matter. Human beings are not the most stable of all creatures.
Well, we're rife with sin, but we can do better.
You always say that, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
You do realize we're communicating through a series of tubes right now from all over the world and everything. I'd say that's pretty good.
How is that doing better?
And I stand by
compared
the
to
fact
sending
that
a freaking raven.
Wait, is the internet witchcraft?
Oh
Probably.
shit! Shut it down! Shut it down!
No.
That is logic.
It's not witchcraft. It's like a series of tubes.
Yeah, it's plumbing.
Magical tubes.
You're all invisible.
They are
I stand by that.
supernatural. Is there something to or ancient witches being also healers in terms of they knowing herbs and what was good to what disease that they possibly could know at the time?
Yeah, that's pretty much that's something that's been a long time to do with like witchcraft and things like that. It's healing. They would most of the time they'd just build up a knowledge of herbalism for treating like ailments and stuff. So they'd go to the healer, obviously get a magic potion. Oh, I can get cured. No, just herbs.
Yeah, like I said, you go down, you talk to my friend the witch doctor, you grab yourself an elixir, and you're back to full HP.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about D&D again?
What? No, that's from Final Fantasy. Elixir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there are also
you're either-
potions in Skyrim, Sharadi.
Skyrim's good too.
He's either talking about Skyrim, D&D, or Final Fantasy.
What's Skyrim D&D? No, Skyrim is one thing, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons is something different. Okay, Skyrim has dragons, but Dungeons and Dragons is a different and much older game.
I prefer Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh, that's good. Well, I mean, it's kind of like saying that like you have furries, and then you got your subsects, you got your scalies and stuff too. It's kind of part of the same genre. Did you just say you?
Yes.
You do realize you're behind an adorable little cat avatar, right?
Yes, it was made for me. I paid for it. It was a commission on DeviantArt.
Oh, well, you're a better person than me. I just simply asked, "Can I use this?" Yes. Screenshot. Thank you.
I didn't even do that. I just went, "Oh, look, there's a funny photo. I'll take that."
The person asked me a couple of questions of what kind of person I am, and offered me the sketch of this kitty, and I said, "That's it."
Well, my husband's home, and I am now leaving. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace,
Bye.
Sharadi. Say hi to the dwarves.
Okay, so vote. She's a witch, and we should burn her. I vote yay.
Yay.
We're not
Yeah.
burning. No. No. Oh, she's got too many blooming flowers and everything like that. It's not going to catch. It's not like a whole bunch of dry leaves.
Well, it's 3-1. We need one. Come on, Kitty or MC, one of you. We need one of your votes, and Sherardi burns at the stake.
How are you going to burn Sherardi at the stake?
I don't know. That's a joke.
Hey, that's a lot of bus riding.
Are you going to reach through the internet tubes?
Yeah, they're tubes, right?
Yeah, no, he's American. He's got a fucking drone sitting around somewhere.
Yeah, MC, handle it.
I don't think that Sherardi's a witch. Sorry.
Oh, all right. The nays have it. Actually, it's tied, but yeah, we can't burn somebody with a tie.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, there's rules now?
You use matches on the tie.
The rules come into play here.
You absolutely can set someone on fire with a tie. In fact, it makes a really good wick.
No. As somebody that's been lit on fire, it's not the most pleasant thing.
How did you light yourself on fire?
No, my friend's sister did.
What'd you do to her?
No, we were fucking around because we used to use that old off-bug spray. You kind of spray it on, you light it, but that only burns on the surface. Then they poured nail polish remover on me, which digs into your pores, and then she lit it, and being the dumbass I was, /M, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, it's on fire. And then I realized, oh, this is burning through my skin. So then I put it out. I still have a little scar.
I thought you were going to say you did the dumb thing and started running through the house screaming, I'm on fire, I'm on fire, I'm on fire.
No,
fire trails.
no, that's stupid. We were outside.
Put me out, put me out, put me out. Put me out, put me out.
Basically, what he was doing is...
Wait a minute, guys.
He had pulled out the voodoo doll of her, and he started sticking her, and she got a little upset.
Wait a minute. She admitted to being a witch. We can't burn her. Like, that is a rule, right? Like, if they admitted it, they got to live. So
No. They killed the witches afterwards.
No, not in Salem, at least.
No. It kind of depended upon the situation. They were either banished from the town or the area. In some cases, yes, they would burn witches.
Yeah, but wasn't the banishment thing that they'd send them out into the cold woods with fuck all clothes and no food and shit? And the whole point was they were supposed to freeze to death in a couple of days anyway.
Yep.
Not if they're a witch. Or you think a witch?
Camping?
Well, no. If they think this is a witch and she could do whatever the fuck she wants, who cares what you send her into the woods with? She'll be nice and warm with the warmth of Satan's embrace.
Unfortunately, there weren't many Duncans to crash in at that point.
Yeah, but then, like, that's the stupidity of these dopey bastards. They're like, oh, here's this really frightening Sheila that can fucking do things to us by wiggling her fucking nose. Let's piss her off even further and throw her out in the fucking cold-ass fucking woods. Yeah, nothing's going to happen over that.
You say that they're stupid, but at the same time, you got to remember what people knew then. They didn't know all this stuff.
Yeah, no, but like the logical solution wouldn't be to piss the supernatural, all-powerful fucking being off even further by locking it outside in the cold.
Well, they didn't believe it was all-powerful. God was always more powerful than them. There was always limits to what they could do. See, I mean, when you talk about logic, first of all, that's when did logic come into being? I mean. It's not like their age and what they viewed as logic. I mean, they were still looking at things of saying, okay, there's four states of everything. It's either fire, water, or land or air, right?
Don't forget heart.
Memes.
Yes.
Captain Planet was a new thing. I realize that your magic starts with Captain Planet, but this was before Captain Planet.
No, my magic went far before then as well. Oh, and speaking of Salem,
you want to show me where Captain Planet was drawn back in the 15th century?
Well, Oz. Wait a minute.
Not that magic.
Oz in the chat says logic doesn't come into play. Well, they had their own type of logic, if that makes sense. They took the Bible literally. They had the Malleus Maleficarum, which they followed to identify said witch and to figure out what to do with the witch. they had their own logic. It just is abnormal to us, you know.
Yeah,
and looking back on them and judging them for their actions then by our morals now isn't necessarily fair historically.
Yeah, it'll be the same as when folks listen back to this Redeye in 400 years.
Well, it doesn't really bode well.
Bastards believed in gravity.
Yeah, it doesn't really bode well that when they find out afterwards that the fucking like the spike that the mark of the beast, and if they fucking prick this person that doesn't bleed, then they must be a witch. The cunt who's using it, he knew that bloody thing was spring loaded, so he knew he was getting away with fucking murder.
And I figured he knew that, Sherardi, but it had to be said. I am trying to say stuff here on air, even though you left. God damn, you're bossy.
Oh,
today.
I didn't realize, Katie, that the Jews were supposed to know about the. I didn't know the Jews were supposed to know about witchcraft. Is that because of the movie Ivanhoe?
I'm just trolling. I'm just trolling, MC.
Well, first of all, I'm now the resident Jewish witch. What else am I?
I don't know. Keep talking.
Geologist.
Geologist? Yeah. When did I become a geologist?
Well, you're throwing rocks.
Grabbing monkeys.
And to be fair, Magic Bollocks has appeared in the chat. Hi, Bollocks. And what he says is Captain Planet was actually Al Gore before he discovered Dunkin' Donuts.
Excelsior!
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I can deny it. Al Gore is Man Bear Pig. Okay, he wasn't chasing Man Bear Pig. He is Man Bear Pig.
Nah, he chased a Man Bear Pig into a Dunkin' Donuts, never came out.
he was devoured by Man Bear Pig.
Donuts.
Donuts.
Now, Wiccans, I've only known one Wiccan personally in my life. That was when I was in the military. And he was a true Wiccan. He believed in it. He did all the different little things that Wiccans do. He was an interesting individual. He also was somebody I played D&D with back in the day. I mean,
what were your characters for that campaign?
No, I just want to say I could imagine MC playing D&D. He probably kicked everybody's ass. He'd be the one that survived. He tripped one of the fucking other teammates.
No. MC was like a super munchkin. He'd be like, "All right, here are the rules. Let me combine this, and this," and then it's like, how are you like taking away like half of the final boss's HP in one hit? It's like theory craft.
It's called you roll for assassination, which were generally my characters.
Oh, so you're a rogue.
Yeah, but
really?
That dude that you reckon had fucking like actual witch powers and shit like that, when he made that house blow up, did you keep your eye on him so as you watched him when he turned and heard the radio saying Sheldrake ceasefire?
Well, no, and what type of stuff did your friend do that was Wiccan? I mean, I looked into it for a short time, but it never caught my interest, so I looked into more esoteric stuff like Crowley.
He would do some of the different spells and stuff that he had the candles, and he would go into that. At one point for Halloween was quite interesting. He actually put a pentagram made of electrical tape on the floor. He then wrote all these different runes on it, because we were creating a haunted house for the families and the kids to go through and everything, right? And he made sure that because this was tile flooring, you had to have it buffed to a high shine. So he buffed it in there with this tape on the floor. And of course, after Halloween, the commander said he wanted that. He was an old Southern guy. He wanted that thing removed. He's like, okay. And of course, when he removes it, because it still left the impression of the
So you got a flow just completely bare pentagram, just sitting on it. Yeah. So did he ever go about the chant going, "Yumo guai guai fi di zao, yumo guai guai fi di zao"?
No.
Okay, you're all a bunch of dumbasses.
What?
Ooh.
So
Not me. I refused to vote. Hold on.
Yeah, she was the holdout.
This has nothing to do with you guys trying to burn me as a witch.
Hey, I voted against that. What the hell?
The nays won.
This has to do with MC and his Wiccan faith thing.
I wasn't saying I was Wiccan. I said I've only known a single Wiccan in my entire life. That's all.
Yeah.
MC belongs to many groups.
And you started talking about shit you have no knowledge about.
I didn't say I had knowledge about it. I just went by what he was doing. That's all.
MC, the next time he does something like that with something on the fucking floor, get him to rub some bloody hemp oil in there as well. So when the MPs come along with their sniffing guns, so they're fucking ape shit.
You remember how you went after Styx earlier today because Styx has no knowledge about the military?
Hey, I asked him a question.
You shut your mouth for a minute.
I did go after Styx for that, but I was not saying I knew anything about Wiccans. I was just saying I knew a Wiccan and this is what he did. That's just relaying exactly what I know. That's not what
President Trump does that all the time. You wouldn't believe what people are telling me.
All these people want to protect Styx Hexenhammer.
I don't care about Styx Hexenhammer. I barely watch his damn videos. My husband is a Wiccan. Wiccans have their own personalized religions, faiths, what have you, whatever the hell you want to call it. It is not an organized religion.
Okay.
There are some fucking weirdos in San Francisco I think you should have a word to then.
Not to diffuse the argument here, but my wife woke up from her nap and she immediately put on Hocus Pocus. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
As Styx would say, synchronicity.
I tried to get my husband to come on here, but he's like not having it right now.
Nobody's talking shit. I was asking MC questions because he said he knew somebody, and I was like, well, I looked into it barely, and it didn't hold my interest. That's all.
No, I was talking shit to MC because he called Styx out earlier today, so I decided to call him out for talking shit about something.
What I was talking about, that I was talking shit about. I was just talking about what this guy did.
You made a few offhand comments.
What offhand comment did I make?
I don't know, but somebody misinterpreted it.
I was just giving you shit. And I'm not allowed to give you shit.
Roll, huh? Is that the real?
Yes.
You opened your mouth and you made some sound.
The thing is, Tema's a pagan. My husband is Wiccan. There's a difference.
Okay. I believe you. And I still don't know what I did that was what I was talking about that I didn't know what I was talking about.
You didn't like the fact that Styx was talking about something that he didn't know anything about.
I didn't like the fact that he stood up there and said things about something he knows nothing about, and he was making comparisons that were, one, not correct, and two, he was making comments about the military and how the military functions, which he doesn't know anything about, or how the military does function. I wasn't telling Wiccans how to do their spells. I wasn't saying anything more about that. I was just telling what I saw and from when I was in the military when I met this guy. It's two separate things, Sharani. Somebody that he knows.
Oh, my husband's protecting you.
Yeah. I wanted to know some more about this haunted house. This sounded like you probably made
Let
a pretty
MC
good
enjoy his
haunted
male
house.
privilege.
Goddamn white males and their fucking privilege. Jesus Christ.
The patriarchy rules fucking the Redeye Stream.
The Jew has come out. I rule all.
Oh, fuck you. You know goddamn well I rule this bitch.
All hail the queen.
Exactly. You better bow before me, bitches.
Hey, memes, grab a bucket of water. Let's handle this shit.
Yeah, you think I'm gonna melt? It's not gonna happen.
Cold.
No, but the haunted house was through the barracks, and there was obviously there was the people that dressed up as vampires with with dark rooms where they would jump out at the kids, and mummies that would roam around the halls that the kids would run away from. And then like I said, this my friend's room, right? He was in there acting as if he was a witch. He had the dark cloak on and casting a spell, as he walked through. And then they had a maze part where the kids could go through the maze, and there were people that would grab them in the maze. It was a fun thing.
Did he have a giant wart in his nose?
No, he did not.
Hold on. Were any of these folks in there charged with sexual assault?
No, nobody was charged with sexual assault. But now that you said something like that, I'm sure that if we tried to put something like that on today, it could have been.
Quite a few people lost quite a few hours. Oh, it's magic, boys and girls. Why does my ass feel sore? Magic!
Wait,
it's no hands.
Wait a minute, was this Kavanaugh's haunted house?
Yeah, Brett Kavanaugh came over to Augsburg, Germany, and was having a haunted house with us.
I'm sorry. That was a horrible joke. But the chat was talking earlier about the witches trying to curse Kavanaugh. How's that going to work out for him? The way I understand it is a curse really only works if the person you're cursing believes in curses.
Well, a curse is a curse, of course, unless you go to the cursor, of course.
Okay, next.
Groan.
I think that that curse that they are trying to cast on Kavanaugh will not work. I think that mass hysteria doesn't work as magic.
I think it may have used to.
Well, it does with voodoo, considering voodoo is
Batman has arrived. Welcome, Batman.
They'll threaten people.
Where's your theme song, you dummy? Oh. You said Batman had come.
I think he's in the chat.
Yeah. Is it? But as I was saying, with voodoo, it has been proven that people were actually that shit scared of being of someone making a voodoo of them, so that they will actually die from stress.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, because they actually believe it so much that they make it a reality within their own head.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Could you put out maybe a spell the same way? You actually believe it'll work, and so somehow it works? Kind of like Christians in prayer, mass prayer,
Well, it's possible, considering if someone's that superstitious as well. So they could, in theory, drive themselves fucking into the ground, thinking that they've been cursed.
Well, think about it this way: people die of fright. It's been scientifically proven that people can.
I think she just died of fright.
Net neutrality.
Yeah, she's on her phone, I think, and it does that.
And
but
Hangouts on the phone sucks.
There she is. Okay, go ahead and finish.
Like I was saying, it's been scientifically proven that people can die of fear. So if they are religious enough and somebody has said that they put a curse on you, they can scare themselves quite literally to death.
Yeah, there was actually a pretty well-known story about this dude. He was in some part of Africa, I can't remember. Someone had put a hex on this one fella that brought this bloke with the hex to the fucking this hospital, and after a couple of days the doctor sort of cottoned on that this is more psychosomatic, so he got a bunch of frogs and gave this bloke some shit to make him throw up, and then once this bloke had thrown up, put the frogs in the bucket and said, look, here's the evil spirits gone from you, and then the bloke who's supposed to have had a hex on him just gets up, walks off like nothing fucking happened, and broke his curse.
Well, placebo effect works 20% of the time.
Yeah. Placebo works.
Yeah. Basically, it's kind of like if they're doing like drug trials and stuff. Sometimes they'll give you an actual thing with an active ingredient, and then the other folks will just give like a sugar pill, but they'll say this is medicine, and then they kind of correlate to seal. And sometimes you'll say, well, the placebo's working about half the time or so. Maybe we need to change the dosage on the active ingredient. But a lot of times, like if you mentally believe that something is going to help you or hurt you, I mean, it's kind of like riding a motorcycle. You look in a direction, you tend towards that direction.
The fun part about these medical trials with placebo is that they also have side effects.
Well, I know, yeah, such as anal leakage.
Yeah,
What if you're allergic to sugar and they just give you, like you said, a sugar pill?
Well, then you'll have a reaction, then, won't you?
Well, I think they have a warning. Are you allergic to sugar? Yes. All right, you're going to have to do another trial.
Yeah, but it's not like they meet you up in a random Starbucks or something like that and say, "Here, try this," and give us a yell. Here's my card. See you next week. They actually do these things in hospitals and shit. So if something does go
you
wrong,
have to sign up for the drug trials.
yeah, and they don't. Like I said, they don't just do it in a bloody coffee shop.
And there is a screening if the person can actually be part of the trial.
Yeah, that's another
they
thing.
Go over allergies and stuff, yeah.
Or it could be environmental from where you've been and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, any time you go to Africa, there's certain things that you got to be mindful of for certain amounts of time. Like, say, giving blood, for example. Can't remember exactly how long, but I think it's either 6 months or a year or 2 years or something like that. If you've been to Africa, you can't give blood.
Yeah, if we go to the UK, we can't donate blood.
Why is that so?
It's because of some mad cow thing or something. I don't know. Maybe it's politics.
It's an environmental thing. They just need to give you some time to quarantine yourself.
So, in the chat, my wife, also known as Rebel Mama, says "dead man's toe." So witches are feminists, right? It's not dead woman's toe; it's dead man's toe. She's watching Hocus Pocus, by the way, like I said a few minutes ago.
That's very misandric.
I love you, Rebel Mama. You're so much fun. Maybe one day we can play together.
That sounded somewhat scary.
I like Monopoly.
It's supposed to be.
You're all gonna die down here.
Hey, Australia's not even a real place.
Really eat your face?
Oh, I tell my kids that the cat's gonna eat their face all the time.
Yeah, and then it eats yours.
Yeah.
And when I die.
You?
The cat always
Alright,
goes for the... It always goes for the face first.
I'm
If
looking at the chat. Real
If I
quick,
died, my cats go to eat me. They'll just fucking get drunk.
Jacob in the chat says, "Hey MC, oh by the way, gonna have to fucking break my neck to get me off your lawn."
I think MC has more means than just using his hands to get somebody off of his lawn. Basically, what I'm saying is, when that garage door opens, run.
He's going to run at them at full speed, but naked.
No, that almost only happened here once.
Door. Along with many drones with tiny guns on them. Along with
or battle bots.
Yeah, he's probably got those too coming at your feet.
No, some of those things are like 400 pounds. I watched the original show. It was awesome.
Well, MC, when you're walking around your front lawn, you got to watch out because apparently Bollocks has already pissed and shat all over it. And he's dug up your dead goyim too.
Bollocks is pissed all over everybody. Did you see the new rules that he wrote?
What? No, that's Bollocks. He's not Tom.
Anyway, moving on. Awkward silence there. Anyway. I don't know. What's your guys' favorite witch movie? I happen to it's not really a witch movie, but the old Warlock movies were good. I enjoyed those. And then The Craft wasn't bad. And of course, Hocus Pocus. But yeah.
I really
Psycho
like that
much?
fucking. I really like that librarian look Willow had going for her.
That
I think
was not
the
a
movie that I
movie.
like the most when it comes
Must it
like
be
that was actually
specifically witches?
the old version with Vincent Price. That I enjoyed. But there was another one I'm trying to think of it. For some reason, the name of the movie escapes me, unfortunately. But for the most part, I'm not it's that genre. I'm not into that that horror genre fan all that much. But the Raven I enjoyed. What were you gonna say, Mad Dog?
Oh, your camera's on, Shorty.
She's casting a spell.
No, I was gonna ask.
She had to give you the evil eye, MC.
I was gonna ask, Farty, do they have any good witchcraft movies over in Australia?
Nah. No, we're not that talented.
What about in Brazil?
I don't think so. It's not witchcraft is itself like in witches. Really, it's not a thing. Yeah, what our Aussie here mentioned about the goths and having that thing about playing vampire stuff and being pretending that they are into Satanism, but this is teenagers being teenagers. Nothing like that. I
The
grew
girl
up
talking
watching
about white
Bewitched.
magic, black magic, and white and black magic mixed together.
Yeah, but this is comes from a religious miscegenation from the African animalistic, from the Oshuns, from the Orishas and the Catholic saints. It's a religion.
Sugar, I'm just giving you trouble.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the closest thing to a movie with witches in it that you could kind of relate to Australia was that one that had Olivia Newton-John in it. That's how much of a far stretch that is. I can't even remember what that fucking movie's called.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Okay, that's just got a troll in it.
What?
Mm.
Oh, it is a troll.
Duh, you dumbass. It's one of my favorite movies.
I know.
Memes. What's your favorite witchcraft movie? We're probably wrapping it up here soon. The kids are all awake and being loud. So.
Oh, Ernest Scared Stupid.
That's not a witchcraft movie.
Oh,
you could at least choose Labyrinth. At least he was using magic.
You know you like
David
Bowie.
What? What?
Oh, The Never-Ending Story.
Oh my God! No.
What?
That movie should be banned.
What? I think it was.
It's just that
Did you guys know they made 3 of them?
Oh my God! They actually made a remake of that thing.
They made a remake that I kind of heard about, and apparently the other day I was online and they had made a 3rd.
I have all 3 of the Never-Ending Story. No, what's wrong with Never-Ending Story?
Oh my God!
What's wrong with it? Come on, that was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Well, that explains a lot.
Hey, don't hate on Brother Falcor.
No, what the fuck, man? Flying Dog? That's original. At least they came up with
I think you would like that movie because I'm pretty sure you identify as a rock eater.
Yeah, that just sounded like a euphemism.
Oh, the big dude's like a little steam-rolling thingamajigger.
I
I
don't
think
know.
we've ruined MC.
Yeah. Well, what's your hatred for the Never-Ending Story? Come on, I gotta hear why you dislike this movie now.
Well, what part of it is useful? It's predictable, all right. It's boring to begin with. The acting in it is probably below subpar.
I named my python after the wise turtle.
Yeah.
I know what MC's problem is. He actually went to see it with his first ever girlfriend in the cinema, and then she leaned over to steal the first kiss, and he freaked the shit out and fucking farted and ran out of the.
The reason I saw the Never-Ending Story was when it came out in theaters. I took one of my kids, and I was like, I'm never taking one of my kids to get this freaking, brain damaged ever again.
You were just sad that Artex died.
It was because she wasn't Jewish.
That was nice.
No, I thought Morla was.
I wanted to see. Well, another thing about it is that Falcor is got to be the worst characterization I've ever seen.
What? Are
I'm
you
sorry.
kidding me?
No, I'm not.
That's like taking St. George's Dragon and mixing him with Peter Griffin.
If it was St. George's Dragon, at least they cut off its head. That would've been
Okay.
great
He was very
Falcor.
kitty-like. I'll give you that. He may have had some whiskers and stuff, but look at how he was scratching him behind the ears and dragons like that.
Oh God! Now I don't like
they?
the movie. Memes can fuck it up.
Memes, you ruin everything.
Yep. Okay, scratch that. I'm with MC.
Memes, how do you manage to ruin things?
Well, as she leaves. Well, universal truth number one: people ruin everything.
All right. Well, anything else you guys want to talk about? I was gonna save my little rant about Portland for Monday, but I saw the footage finally about what happened up there, and that's some bullshit. And CNN wants to say they're not a mob. Go fuck yourselves, CNN.
Well, there was
CNN,
violence.
MSNBC, NBC, all of them. They're like, don't say it's a mob. It's not a mob. It's a demonstration.
There was a lot of violence on both sides, apparently.
Demonstration is when it's Pacific. It's not Pacific.
Violence
it's a
on both
mob.
sides? What was the other side?
Also,
Yeah, dude. No, screw that, memes.
Did you watch Tim Pool's video about a couple of
No, screw you. Now I'm going all fucking MC on this
basically
goddamn.
stomping a
actually
mud
did.
hole in somebody?
Yeah.
No, I
how about
actually did watch
how about
Tim
them
Pool's
fucking? Oh, how about them hitting a fucking old man? How about them
Yeah,
surrounding
that's
a
fucked
fucking
up.
car? How about them surrounding a car and then they want the person arrested because he's scared and he keeps going and he's going slow enough to where the guy in front of the car could fucking move.
Events, or which
it's
event
the
are you
same
talking
damn
about?
event. They
No.
hit him with a
Are you talking
fucking
about the
billy
most-
club. Yes.
Are you talking about the one with Gavin McGinnis, or are you talking about
we're
when
talking
folks were
We're
diverting
talking about the
traffic?
one with Gavin McGinnis. This is not the one with Gavin McGinnis.
Oh, so you're talking about something
This
else.
is the one
Okay.
about the shooting where the guy had a fucking gun, shot two people, turned to shoot the cops, and the cops took him down. This time, I'm with MC. The guy already shot two people, and he's trying to point the gun at me. I'm going to take him down, too. Portland police did nothing wrong here. And other than during the demonstration, as you want to fucking call the piece of shit, they fucking stood down and just watched as the fucking crowd is assaulting anybody that's fucking white. Anybody
Until a
fucking
little old
white.
lady comes out and tries to complain about a noise complaint and tries to talk these people down logically, and then they start going, oh, help, police, help, she's assaulting us, she's assaulting us.
Yeah, she's assaulting me, and the fucker is 10 feet away from her, and she's in a wheelchair. Are you fucking kidding me? These sons of bitches. No,
What?
and when this happened when my
You
fucking
didn't
wife was
watch
in
that?
my wife was in fucking Portland. She wasn't in the same area, thank God, because she didn't tell me about it. So I know she wasn't in the same area. But she was there. I'm buying her a fucking gun. Fuck this shit.
Is that the point where you show your Patreon?
No.
No, that's not. This is the point where I'm actually mad and fear for my fucking wife and kid that she has to take him to a doctor's appointment in downtown Portland. This is getting fucked, dude. Black Lives Matter and Antifa are running the streets of Portland right now. The cops aren't even doing a goddamn thing, and they used to. They used to shut this thing down quick, but now they're being targeted. So they're just backing off like little bitches because of the mayor. Fuck that shit, man. Give Portland to Washington. I'm done with the fucker.
Well, November's coming up. Remember to vote.
That's not the point, memes. You're not getting the point. The police should have helped the man that was attacked with a billy club. They should have blocked off the roads so that those people couldn't have attacked the goddamn cars. They should have stopped the goddamn protesters, rioters, what have you.
Why didn't they?
Because the Democrat mayor told them to stand down.
Well, if you don't let it, then vote. That's why I say vote.
And this is the thing is
how can I vote for the fucking mayor of Portland?
Walk around
dude?
going, the Democrats are good people.
Okay.
Memes. Can I go vote? No. Can I go vote for the Boston mayor? No, I can't. Same thing. I can't go vote for the fucking Portland mayor.
Haven't I heard that certain folks come from other places to vote? Because I've heard some things like that on.
So in other words,
That's
are
illegal.
you asking people or telling people to vote illegally? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I would never say that. I'm just telling you what I heard. Just like Donald Trump says.
That sounds like you're suggesting that people vote illegally.
So can you want me to go vote in your area?
Oh, that's a very long bus ride. So I mean, you could try, but we actually check for ID unless you're on the voter rolls.
Yeah, and Oregon is a mail-in ballot state, so I get a ballot already pre-made. I can't vote for the mayor of Portland, man. But my wife goes to Portland all the time, and I'm in fear for her fucking life up there now.
If only there was a way we could communicate our grievances in certain areas and publish it to a widely accessible platform.
Why are you sounding really condescending to me? Because this is actually a real-world thing. My wife was there at the time, and you're sounding very condescending right now.
You're right, I was. No, that's my bad, man. No, it is. Here's the thing. You shouldn't go around fucking beating people with shit. My initial thoughts is I was thinking about the Gavin McInnes thing where there were a couple of apparently members of the Proud Boy group that they got into a scuffle. We don't know how the scuffle started, but when you're looking at the video, they were pretty much stomping a mud hole in a couple of dudes. When the dude's on the ground in the fetal position, man, it's like the dude's lost. So that was why I was convoluting a couple of things. I was not aware we're talking about the other thing. That's my bad on that.
Once the battle's begun, trying to sit up there and try and put a stop to it is immaterial.
No. And there were members of the group too, even saying, "Cut the shit out."
Because it's not easy to do. One of the things that when you start engaging that fight-flight response, to pull back from that fight response, it's not something that's easy to do. This is
no, dude. If someone's trying to freaking hurt you and stuff, your mind, you going end up seeing red and going nuts.
Once you get into that mode, okay, this is why sacks of cities and everything, why troops had to learn that they had to be disciplined, all right, and they had to do an extraordinary amount of discipline to actually prevent what people think of as sacking cities. Okay, the reason you don't see sacks of cities generally today, all right, is because a professional military is trained not to do that. They're literally trained not to do that. Okay. To rein these things in. But when you talk about a lot of these like guerrilla forces and everything, the reason that you see them raping and pillaging and that thing going on is because it's not so easy in these kinds of environments for untrained individuals to just pull back once they get their quote unquote blood up.
It's kind of like the Lannister army versus the Dothraki horde.
The problem is that you have these riots with people being either incensed by their perceived grievances or being paid to be there, and they resort to violence to convey their message. This is the entitlement that the previous administration of your country allowed. The same thing, the hashtag not my president. Get over with that. This should not be happening.
Bring
And
back
when you
conscription.
see, and when also Maxine Waters telling people to harass the Republican representatives wherever they go, restaurants, convenience store, gasoline stations. This is incitement to violence. Violence became acceptable.
Like
Yeah.
Hillary saying don't be civil to the conservatives
Yes.
and Republicans lately. And
Yeah.
who else said when they go low, we kick them?
Maxine Waters. Maxine
No.
Waters
Maxine
actually did a
Waters.
call for action. But real
She
quick,
did.
real
Eric
quick, I want to
Holder.
read the
Eric
chat.
Holder said kick them, or when they go low, we kick them.
Yeah. Jacob in the chat says, at Mad Dodge Productions, you can either purposely play with your hands tied to play the moral high ground, or you can play by the rules your opponents decided to set up. Either you sit and take it like a bitch, or you fight back. Oregon is an open carry state. All right, I would like to see them do that with my wife openly carrying, or I'm with her and I'm carrying a gun, because I'm not going to let them assault our vehicle and our property. I will fucking warn them, and then if they continue, I will shoot.
Well,
What happened to the non-aggression principle that you stand so close to?
That's why they continue their aggression. They get shot.
It's a very slippery slope, and MD, you to bring up a big point. Like, there's a whole bunch of powder kegs all over the place, and there's a bunch of fuses burning, and a lot of these are getting really short right now.
You don't threaten my family, and like, she was there. She didn't go in the area, thank God. But what happens next time?
Oh, well, like I keep saying, the world is going to end up in a fucking World War III. It's not going to be just a civil war. It's going to be a fucking World War III.
Well, then World War IV will be done with stone and copper.
Yeah, we'll be back to spears and axes.
Why
But
does everybody assume it would be a nuclear war?
That's a good point.
Well, because if Russia and the United States goes to war, that's what happens. That's the end game. We both of our countries know it.
There's plenty of other countries for America to go to war with.
Wait a second. You have actually a very blessed position there. The reason why is we all saw what would happen if there was a World War III. There was a video that came out probably about 10 years ago. Everyone's launching nukes at these people. Everyone's launching. And at the end, Australia's like, what's up, mate?
My husband in the chat says,
What movie was that?
I wouldn't have a problem shooting someone if they threaten the safety of my family. He's standing with you, Dodge.
Yeah, well, that's what our First Amendment is about, is protecting ourselves and our families. And they assaulted people. They were trying to rip people out of their cars. My wife goes up there to take our disabled son to the fucking hospital. This is bullshit. Like, they weren't letting anybody through. They were trying to direct the traffic, and the cops just stood there and watched. Well, I bet if one of those assholes gets shot, the cops are no longer going to watch. And if it's a clean shoot, I'm good.
They weren't just trying to direct traffic. They were trying to stop it, pull people out of vehicles, and then beat them, just like they did with that old guy when he did stop and get out of his vehicle. They hit him with a fucking billy club. And then when he got back into his vehicle, they broke his damn window.
Excuse me, I have to go.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I hope your dad gets
while.
better soon.
Thank you, Sharari. I'm taking care of him. It's about time that I check if he's already in bed. If he's not, I need to chase him down.
Okay, good luck.
Good night.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Ta-da.
But yeah, MC, this is where it hits personal, and I fall on your side. But I still think they have to commit the aggression first. But they were committing aggression at that point. And Oregon's an open carry state. One of these guys are going to get shot again because somebody already did get shot in Portland during one of these things. So they need to watch it.
I know exactly what you can do to alleviate all of your fears about what you are currently concerned about. This will only work for this instance you're talking about at the moment. It won't work for everything else. Move out to Australia. We don't have them Antifa cunts here.
Yeah, but you guys have drop bears.
Yeah, no. Like
Yeah.
I said,
And you also have
it'd be
no
safe for the
fucking freedom.
Antifa cunts out here. I can't guarantee everything else, but
You gotta shake out your shoes for scorpions and stuff too.
And memes, all right. Now I'm not gonna fucking rail at you, but you sounded really condescending, and I was on a roll, so I had to shut it down. But no, is there a middle ground with these people anymore? Because I'm starting to agree with MC that no, there's not.
We need a better path, and by that, what I mean is, I see a lot of folks hashtag walking away and stuff because they don't like what they're seeing and stuff. And you know what? Hey, power fair to them and everything. I think we're probably going to need more folks to start walking toward the mess. And because, like, I remember even back in the day, Sargon said, "Oh, why are you always hating on the left?" He's like, "Well, I'm a member of the left," and now he's a member of UKIP apparently. I think we need just some more good folks to kind of just get in there and be like, "Hey, don't be stupid about this shit. Actually, like, have like a decently coherent message that's somewhat uplifting that can actually, I don't know, try to transcend."
The problem with that starts with the fact that they don't. How are you going to convince them that they need that? They need to use that message.
I mean, just take a look at the meta. I mean, like, do you think street violence is working?
They do.
Okay, they do, which apparently there seems to be a smaller percentage of folks. Because what was the statistics like? Was about 25% of folks are more conservative, and like 8% are more.
Have they lost the support of the media? Is the media still covering for them? What have they lost? Memes?
Dude, you can only have so many instances. The memetics are terrible. You can only, I don't care who you are, you can only make excuses for so long to the point where you either have to start censoring other outlets and stuff, which, well, I don't know. There seem to be some arguments that, it seems like a lot of folks are getting censored, getting deplatformed. What was it, like a couple hundred Facebook pages with some with over like 1 million plus folks on it?
How many people gotta get hurt, memes, before you realize that the mainstream media, this is what they want. This is what they support.
I don't believe that.
Why don't you believe that? You're watching them defend it day after day after day, and you don't want to believe it? Why?
Let's see, have you gone on Twitter before?
Have I gone on Twitter before? Of course I have.
Yeah.
Have you watched CNN recently?
No, the reason I say that, basically, to make my point, is that if you happen to be a blue checkmark individual, there is an option where you can filter everyone out except other blue checkmarks. And if most of your blue checkmarks are folks that pretty much think the same way, and you're only being exposed to stuff, if all of a sudden someone else comes along from a different quote unquote, no, I'm saying is they believe they're right.
What does that have to do with the mainstream media?
Well, aren't there a lot of anchors and stuff from the mainstream media on Twitter?
What difference does that make when it comes to telling the truth?
Because they believe it's the truth.
They don't believe it's the truth. You can see that the evidence is sitting right in their faces. You cannot tell me.
Are they looking at all the evidence? Or are they looking at what their producer gives them?
No, they're looking at the evidence. The evidence is right there, memes. I mean, come on, let's be frank here. All right? The evidence of what's going on here is sitting right in their faces. They are there reporting on this, and they're refusing to tell people what's actually happening.
Well, no, and what really fucking, I guess, grinds my gears is fucking they had somebody on that goes, yeah, this was a mob in Portland. And she's like, oh, you're not going to use the mob word. You're not going to use the M word on my show. What? The M word? You're fucking kidding me, right?
Yeah, it's almost as bad as her, and not the B word, the BOOBS. Jesus Christ.
Well, that man believes in them.
This is getting ridiculous. And the only mob there was in Charleston. You know, that's that small group of torch waving people that ruined the protest that was really supposed to happen. You know, that was the mob. Wait a minute.
They were both. They're all mobs. I will accept the fact that in Charleston there was a damn mob, but almost every rally, demonstration, whatever you want to call these Democrats, leftists, whatever the hell they are, they're fucking mobs. They're attacking people. They're throwing their Molotov cocktail bombs, whatever. They're hurting people. They're fucking mobs.
No, and you need more self-policing in any type of those demonstrations. Like even when the Proud Boys, dude, I had an opportunity to join the Proud Boys like earlier this year.
What they need, because the reality is, memes is they're not going to sit up there and stop. You have yet to explain how you're going to convince them to stop being violent. Because they see no reason to stop. They're given no reason to stop. And the people who are perpetuating this, the mainstream media, is egging it on. You are not going to sit up there. And it's not because they don't know better. That's just unbelievable excuse making to justify, well, no, they really don't understand what they're doing. Like somehow that they're still children. These are the people that you're relying upon for news, and they are intentionally doing this to the news. And you think that somehow this is all going to get better magically? That the magic freaking fairy is going to come down? Well, we need to have a better way. What kind of sense does that make? We need to have a better way. Good. Go tell them, convince them that there needs to be a better way for them to do it, because they're not changing. It isn't me you have to convince that there needs to be a better way. It's them. And I am not going to allow myself to be a victim while they sit up there and try and, quote unquote, figure out whether or not there's a better way for them.
Well, MC, on that, are you saying there's absolutely no mainstream coverage? Because I believe Fox News was covering some of this. And yes, are there some folks that are turning a willful, blindful eye? Sure. No, that absolutely does happen, but you can only ignore actual occurrences for so long to the point.
To come back and say that mainstream media is all Fox News is nonsense, especially considering what people have done. All right, including the wonder child that I was talking about earlier, Styx, has done to people like Fox News, as if somehow
you really got a bone to pick with him.
Here has it's atrocious. It's no different than the rest of them. That's the stance of the vast majority of the people when it comes to talking about Fox News. They've already denigrated it to the point where nobody will listen to them, especially the people who call it faux news. All right, and they are all over the place. If I bring up something on Fox News, people like Artemis Brain Sample go, well, that's just Fox News. They're not trustworthy. And that happens all the time. So when I talk about the mainstream media, all right, yes, Fox News is out there, but they're only one single outlet out of how many thousands?
Well, I guess it's a good thing we have alternative platforms as well.
Well, great. The alternative platforms, though, are limited. And guess what? What's happening? Are the alternative outlets having an effect on them? And what I mean by them, I'm not talking the protesters. Is it having a positive effect on the mainstream media for them to start reporting the truth, or are they continually doubling down and getting worse and worse and worse?
Well, it kind of sounds like some of it is they're playing to audiences to try to get some views. They're publicly traded companies.
Oh, well, the only reason we're not telling the truth as a news outlet is because our audience doesn't want the truth? Is that what you're trying to say now?
I'm saying people have different perspectives on the same event at times.
Hang on a second, MC.
Different perspectives on the same event. We're still talking about Portland, right? I had to get up and I grabbed my kids all a cookie. so I didn't hear everything you guys were saying. But how can you have a different perspective when you're looking at the same video evidence?
Well, maybe a backpack brushes up against your butt and you think somebody grabbed you.
Or maybe you're just retarded and you were dropped on your head as a baby. But excluding
That
that,
was only once.
how do you...
Memes, just a second. Why do you think when I'm looking for a story for Dodge for the Redeye that I go to so many different news outlets, be they leftist or conservative, and put the same article but 50 different times?
Well, you're doing your due diligence. You should go work for CNN.
The fuck I will ever.
How would you get hired by CNN? You think CNN's going to hire her?
No, and Oz, you're in the chat. Alden made you a mod also, so there you go. You have a wrench.
That just means you can put links in now.
Where's my bloody wrench?
You should have one.
Do I?
Is your name Blue, Sugar?
Hang on.
Yeah, where's my wrench? I don't have a wrench.
now I got to give everybody a damn wrench.
No, you don't have to give Hyper a wrench. He's never here.
No, I don't have a wrench.
This is true. I turn up when I'm bored.
No, but
Hyper a wrench. He's never here.
Okay, so to rehash some conflicting areas here, MC, would you not say that folks at these demonstrations, perhaps they should?
I want you to answer it.
Go ahead.
I asked you a question. I want you to answer it.
Oh, yeah, you're doing your due diligence.
Why do I go to two different sides and put both sides into the Discord when I'm looking up a story?
Because you're getting a variety of perspectives like anyone should actually do.
Uh-huh. Why don't the mainstream...
Well, because they have seemingly particular narratives that that are either, I don't know if they're promoting or they just generally believe that that's what's going on.
I'm sorry I didn't hear your answer because I got
no. Well, yeah, no. Why are other folks not necessarily doing that? Because we're human beings. We're 60 to 80% water. We tend to go the path of least resistance, and if that's what most folks around them are saying, I mean, and then the folks that bring up alternative things typically are saying things they don't like. I mean, we tend not to listen to folks that say things that give us cognitive dissonance.
Doing their job.
Well, I mean, that's an argument.
No, that's the truth.
Mad Dog, who gave the cops the order to stand down, and why the fuck is that going on?
The mayor of Portland, he actually came out later and said, you know, I think you guys are doing a really great job, but you need to do something more sustainable. In other words, stop protesting all the time and actually do something peacefully is what he was trying to say. Yeah. But he was whitewashing it with giving them praise. And Antifa is a domestic terrorist group. Let's not fucking mince words here. It would be the same thing from somebody on what they call the right, you know, a neo-Nazi rally where they were going around busting up cars and shit. They would be a domestic terror group. You know what I mean?
Somebody else pointed out that, have you noticed it's mostly in blue areas where these dickheads pull this shit? Because they're not going to do it in a red area. They don't want to get their asses fucked up.
Oh, they've done it in the red areas before, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they've done it in red areas. They've done it in blue areas.
Antifa
it's mostly in bigger cities where it's mostly blue, but it's a red state.
Yeah, they are a domestic terror organization, and fuck Antifa.
No, but to get back to actual, like, these acts of violence and stuff, I mean, if you're going to do a protest, it should be a peaceful protest. And what it kind of seems like, you have a lot of folks that just don't have a lot of discipline. So it kind of goes back to, if you are a disciplined force, you actually have the ability to, like, do things well rather than letting everything go to hell.
memes. That would you can't look at let's go back to early on where the riot with Antifa where the girl got slugged. Okay? Do you remember that?
Oh, the gal with the dreads that got punched in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What did she post?
Oh, she was going to go collect Nazi scalps.
Okay. Does that sound like somebody that's going there to a quote-unquote protest, or does that sound like somebody that's going there with the intention to riot?
Well, there are a lot of folks looking for trouble.
No, memes. Is she going there to protest, or is she going there to riot?
I don't know what's in her head nor heart. I mean, it sounds like a very inflammatory statement.
Okay, all right. The chat. I think it was Jacob in the chat. If I misnamed whoever said it, then I'm sorry. But they said, I like memes. I don't hate him, but I do think he tiptoes around a lot, and that's what you're doing right here. Memes. You can say yes. You know why? Because she said yes with her words and her actions.
So words should lead to you getting punched in the face?
No, she was going there to start a fight. She started a fight and she lost said fight.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing. It sounds like she was looking for trouble. Oh, you talk with... dude, I don't care whatever quote-unquote side, group, entity it is. There are always some folks looking for trouble. Do the percentages change depending on the group and situation? Sure.
Riddle me this, Batman. Was the little old lady in the wheelchair looking for a fight when she came down to try to logically talk these people into not using the bullhorn?
Are you talking to me or Batman?
Batman's not here.
Oh. I didn't see that story. Which one was that?
In Portland.
Don't fucking beat up somebody in a wheelchair. What, they run over your toe? Oh,
they didn't beat her up. To be fair, they didn't beat her up. She came down. Old lady, in a wheelchair. She had like a cane with her. And no, she didn't whack people with the cane. All right, she didn't do it. I saw the footage. She said, can you stop with the bullhorn? We're here to mourn, is what they start shouting at her. And she's like, yeah, well, that bullhorn's really freaking loud, and you're right below my apartment. Can you please stop? And this isn't helping anything. And they proceeded to scream and yell at her. One guy started yelling help to the cops.
What?
Go ahead.
How does that look? Oh, go ahead, Troy.
They started using the bullhorn to get even louder, and then some tiny little girl, I don't even know how old she was. She couldn't have been any older than, 17, 18? Maybe a little older. She was super skinny. Started screaming in this woman's face. I don't remember exactly what her words were, but it was about the guy who was going to shoot at the cops, had shot the other two people, and about how the cops had shot him.
Okay, and how does that look, screaming at a little old lady in a wheelchair?
That's what I was asking you.
Yeah, it looks fucking terrible.
Of course,
the medic is horrible. That's what I'm saying. It's like events like this. It's just, okay, maybe it's not always in the mainstream media. Perhaps often it isn't. But when these events keep happening, you can only ignore something for so long. It's starting to get out there. And you got to have some faith in the process. I got it. Yeah, it's fucking hard. It seems like no matter what channel you're putting on, it seems like the world's ending in all different types of ways. But I stand by that. Most folks are good people. And I think good people can figure this shit out.
Most people are, and that's also part of the thing, is a lot of people that don't know the culture war going on are starting to get really pissed off about the nonsense, like fucking blocking streets in Portland. Fuck that shit. I would run a motherfucker over.
Memes. How long do you expect people to wait? You say it's getting out there, that this is getting out there. This has been going on for 2 decades now, 3 decades. This isn't new. All right? It's happening more often now. But this kind of activity from this group isn't new. And in fact, one of the people who was participating in this, all right, was one of the biggest supporters back in the 70s. He was doing this kind of crap, and he was one of the biggest supporters of Barack Obama. Did that get out? Did the fact that he helped participate in a bombing that killed police, did that get out? And that Obama stood up there and kicked off his senatorial campaign in his house, did that get out?
I'm sorry, man. Who are you talking about? I mean,
Are you talking about Bill Ayers?
Yes, I'm talking about Bill Ayers.
Yeah, no, I heard about that.
Okay, I don't know if my computer's messing up or it's just dead air. But no, Bill Ayers, yeah, that was ridiculous. And wasn't he part of the Weather Underground? Right, MC, the Weather Underground?
MC, you there? Maybe he died.
Yeah, Bill Ayers started the
Okay,
My
yeah.
husband says yes. He started the Weather Underground.
Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, and Antifa is pretty much a more violent and malicious. They don't bomb people; they just rip you out of your car and beat the shit out of you.
What a time for my mic to go on. I had a heck of a rant going. You guys couldn't hear it. It's unfortunate.
Oh damn! Go ahead, MC.
Memes. This stuff has been going on for a long time. And yes, it is Bill Ayers. And yes, right now he's a university professor. Okay. Do you see the press center going, how the hell can this guy be a university professor? Do you see them saying, hey, this guy shouldn't be a university professor? Do you see the mainstream media doing anything of the kind? After 9/11, Bill Ayers put out a little thing saying America got what it deserved. All right. This is who this guy was. Did you see the mainstream press covering that? Yeah, you keep going, oh, it's getting out there. It's getting out there.
I remember hearing about it. I
remember
it was
hearing
discussed
about it from people where? Where did you hear it being discussed?
on Fox News, and I believe CNN was rebutting it on a panel at some point. They were having a discussion about it.
CNN mentioned it one single time and then whitewashed what was really going on. Like they always do. Just like they're whitewashing right now what's going on with Antifa in Portland and all these other places. You keep saying, okay, it's getting out there, it's getting out there. No, it isn't. Because they refuse to let it get out.
So millions of people watching these stories on YouTube and other platforms isn't disseminating information?
How many people are listening to it?
I don't know how many people are watching us right now.
Let's be honest. When I was talking about Styx, right, earlier, all right, how big is Styx's channel?
A little shy of 300K.
Okay, that's 300,000 people that are subscribers, right? Do you really think that he has the kind of influence that CNN does, or that MSNBC does, or that ABC does, or that CBS does, or that NBC does?
Highly unlikely.
No, that's true, but collectively, a number of folks are starting to push that way.
Collectively, you're going to tell me collectively that they stand up to any of those networks or two of those networks and the reach that they have?
No.
Okay, what about the Washington Post? What about the New York Times? Let's start adding these things up, memes. You talk about Fox News as well. There's one freaking conservative outlet out there that's at least getting out this information, and it is. You were correct about that. But they're the only one. And what's worse is that they were so demeaned by people like Styx and several other people that people won't watch them anyway. So where's this information coming out? Where's it getting out there? The people you're saying it's getting out there, it's getting out there. Really? Because it sure doesn't seem like it. It sure doesn't seem like the universities have changed their policies at all. You still have things happening like Mattress Girl happening all over the place. And memes, you keep saying, well, it's getting better, it's getting better. No, it's not. They're getting more violent.
Isn't part of that perhaps somewhat of a death knell of some of these organizations? I mean, some of these organizations, they're downsizing and they may not be around in at least their current forms in a number of years while other outlets are growing.
Well, show me where they're shrinking.
The New York Times was sold for $1 a couple of years ago.
That was a tax deal, dude. It wasn't the actual price, and everybody knows it.
All right,
well,
hey, boys, I think Dodge wanted to say something.
Yeah, because you have Drudge Report, you have Fox News, you have independent, people on YouTube that are doling out information as well. You do have a little bit of a pushback, and I don't put everything in the Fox News. They're not the fucking savior of the news universe because they're ran by a bunch of neocons. So.
Well, hey, just because we steal one of their former shows and their news alert occasionally, hey, I mean,
yeah, it's not stealing. Means you're gonna get me sued.
Hey, Dodge, you're gonna fucking love this. Just swing by the Channel 7 News website, and this one is right up your alley. A woman has been seriously injured and 2 others hurt in a kangaroo attack at a southeast Queensland property. A 54-year-old woman received significant chest and abdominal injuries when the kangaroo attacked at a private residence at Cypress Gardens near Toowoomba on Saturday evening. So we've had a psycho kangaroo not just hurt one person, but it went fucking 3 cunts in one go. You still want to go and punch on with a kangaroo there, Dodge?
No.
No, I'll pass. Kind of like I was watching Irate Prostate's stream with Sofane last night, and Sofane's talking about being in India, and his buddy jumped out to go feed some monkeys, and the cab driver's like, dude, don't have your buddy fight the monkeys. That's not a good idea. And yeah, he almost got his ass kicked by a gang of monkeys. It's not my story, so I won't tell the whole thing, but yeah.
Oh, that's not near as bad as this.
Go
A
ahead.
32-year-old in Erie, Pennsylvania, woman has been killed after an overdose on meth caused her to insert a gas pump nozzle into her anus and begin pumping gasoline.
oh no, it burns.
Why? That got nothing. Nothing.
Okay, she opted out of the gene pool. Next.
I said it's not near as bad.
That ring of fire. That ring
Oh
of fire.
God,
A woman
no.
who has who has yet to be formally identified by authorities is believed to have a record for multiple drug offenses in Pennsylvania. Officials who are involved in the investigation believe the latest incident was caused by the woman
There's been
overdosing
more
on
than
meth.
one.
Oh,
This is the latest incident. This has been This is a regular occurrence or something in Pennsylvania.
No. She had multiple drug convictions, I believe, not multiple inserting into her asshole of a petroleum dispensing product.
Yeah, no, usually she does diesel, and usually she does the front bun, not the back bun.
No. She does not know the way. Oh, no.
The victim has been known to abuse multiple substances.
victim?
Oh, I thought you were going to say multiple Bowsers for a
Yeah,
second.
a woman's dead.
But her drug of choice is meth, said one investigator. According to witnesses, the woman ran across several lanes of traffic to the gas station and grabbed a pump nozzle before pulling down her skirt. Horrified, motorists looked on as the woman proceeded to shove the nozzle into her anus and begin pumping gas.
Horrified
Oh.
my ass. What's the
Oh
bet?
my God.
There's a dozen
Oh.
black fellas sitting around
Horrified.
the
The
phone
next
and
line
go,
They
is-
were whipping out their
Hippo.
freaking cell phones, taking this, going, this is
Yeah.
going on YouTube.
Lone Star fucking
Oh, the
whatever
next
fuck
line
they're
is terrible. Oh, that feels good, she said. to have called out to the onlookers who were too shocked to attempt to stop her. The
Well,
woman continued to pump gas until the cashier activated the emergency stop.
Jeez, you know, like, fucking, it'd have to be poor advertising for that particular bloody petrol station. I mean, like, look at all, like, when she pulled the nozzle out, so they had to go somewhere, and they'd have shitty fuel all over their fucking causeway.
I can guarantee you they're going to be prepay from now on.
The woman continued to pump gas until the cashier activated the emergency stop. She later collapsed onto the ground, and paramedics were soon on the scene to provide assistance. However, the gasoline had flooded the woman's internal organs after it was absorbed through her rectum. The gasoline entered her bloodstream and had a toxic effect, shutting down her key organs, said one doctor who tried in vain to treat the woman when she arrived at the hospital.
Quick, suck out the poison.
Oh, God. Unfortunately, there was nothing we could do for her. That's the last
Doctor
of the
was slow
story.
getting to the scene because he had to put out his cigarette first. Details at 10s.
I've got a really good one. So a man in Kansas was tasered because he wouldn't stop fucking a car exhaust.
What?
No, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Oh,
guy
there's-
put his mouth on the pipe of a car and kept sucking, and they had to tase him to get it off.
no, he
No,
was
you-
fucking it.
No, he was
What
sticking dick in it.
He was fucking it, not sucking it.
Oh, God. Okay.
Have
Oh my God.
you guys ever heard the Armageddon story?
Maybe.
Is-
Is this worse than the gasoline story I just heard? Because I'm still in shock.
No. This one's
Shut it
pretty
down,
tame.
Matt. Shut it down.
Yeah. No. This one's pretty tame. This one's from like the 1980s, and you can still get the WAV file off the internet and all this kind of stuff. And the presenter just couldn't keep a straight face through this. But apparently, there's two poofters, and they had this gerbil, and they had this gerbil trained up so well that they just said the word Armageddon, and it'd come crawling back out, right? So this one time, Cecil sticks fucking the gerbil up Cyril's backside, and a little while goes by, and they called out Armageddon, and nothing happens. And Cyril decides he's going to go and have a look up Cecil's bumhole, and he spreads the arse cheeks, lights a match, and then woof, he gets hit in the face with a flaming gerbil.
Is that where Richard Gere got the idea? Anyway. God damn.
So
Okay.
no, I actually did see a video recently of a bloke that lit one of his farts on fire, and the cat jumped in front of him just as the fart was getting lit on fire, and he set the cat on fire with his fart.
None of those stories are as bad as that woman who shoved the gas in her anus.
No, and some asshole put that idea in her head. Like, you don't just come
No,
up with that
she
shit.
was on meth. Fucking you do crazy shit on meth. Hence why the fucking you've got the anti-meth adverts. Meth not even once. She ended up shoving a fucking gas pump up your ass and pumping gas in your anus.
As Lois Griffin once said, meth is one hell of a drug.
Yeah.
I once heard the old fucking wives' tale about the Sheila on the Spanish Fly, and that's an aphrodisiac, high or anything like that. But she drank the whole bottle apparently. This Sheila's gone off to a pub, and apparently she was up on the fucking pool table, fucking giving herself a going over with the pool cue, and forgot that the pool cue was taller than her when she went to stand up, skewered herself.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah.
That just sounds painful. Very painful.
Well, she died, so I'd say it would be a little bit ouchy.
So she sort of Vlad the Impaler herself then.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
Still
Well,
think we can do better memes.
Hey, given those stories, I think we have a vast way. I think we can do a lot better.
Ooh.
There are a lot of problems that we can work on. There's a lot of problems that need fixing, apparently, or
Some
maybe.
people just need to take a long walk off a short cliff. Memes.
Hey, I jumped off that pier once, and I didn't know it was low tide, and there had been a drought.
Which group has been pushing the things like, well, we need to have seatbelt laws, and we need to have helmet laws, and we need to prevent people from opting out of the gene pool? Which group does that?
People that care about people.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So does it sound like they really care?
We need to give junkies
seatbelts save everybody's life,
so they don't go butt fucking themselves with fuel bowsers.
Humanity would be better off if we let certain individuals opt out of the gene pool.
Darwinism.
If they want out, let them out. There's no reason to keep them.
No, I think we need better use of prophylactics.
Then you end up with the woman in the gas line.
Because, well, they've already got the friggin' frangers. It's not like any cunt's fucking using them.
I don't even know what that word was.
Which one? Cunts using franger or
What's a franger?
a condom?
Oh, I learned something new. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you ever go to England and someone says, "Would you like?" Well, if someone offers you to touch their oily Johnny, just say no.
No, as long as I can borrow a fag.
Oh my god.
Wow, out of context, that made more sense than you'd ever imagine.
And there is our moment of
I
clarity.
can't wait to sit up there and read about Memes' freaking adventures in England.
What? No,
Yeah,
I want to donate blood.
Man goes to donate blood is anally raped for 30 hours.
He's anally raped by some fag with his oily Johnny.
What the hell are you guys talking about? I just want to borrow butt.
You'll get one too asking for it like that.
Memes.
Now you know why Memes supports seatbelt laws, because he's afraid he's one of the people who would have opted out of the gene pool a long time ago.
Well, actually, to be fair, when I was in the 100+ mile per hour collision, I was wearing my seat buckle, but the way the car was spinning before we hit the telephone pole on the back side of the car, I actually don't think it would have made a difference.
Ish.
Memes.
Yes.
You do realize that some of the things you say are really fucking stupid, and that's why you get attacked by us so damn much.
Okay.
I have already said that I wholeheartedly love you for the simple fact that you keep coming back, and you're a good guy. You really, really are, because you keep taking it. You do.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jesus.
And he thinks it's a
I don't understand. I don't.
Well, no, it has to be a comedy because then it has a happy ending.
not comedy.
It doesn't have to be a comedy to have a happy ending, son.
I don't understand if you're trolling or if you truly believe what you're saying.
All I know is tide goes in, tide goes out, never a miscommunication.
That's why people eat Tide Pods.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
There's no
Oh!
miscommunication
Wait, so you're
whatsoever.
Bill O'Reilly's fault? Well, my dad wasn't a fan of him. I got him his book though.
All right, I'm back. I came back and you were talking to
Just to let you
me.
know, Memes is one Tide Pod short of a Happy Meal. Just to let you know.
Wait,
I don't know how many are there.
See?
wait a minute. Is that the toy they give out in the Happy Meal now? It's Tide Pods?
It should be.
No, that's what they're giving out instead of the fruit snack.
Sith, your camera's on.
Yes, I
shut
know.
it off.
I did. Thank you. You're a
But,
sweetheart, bud. Alrighty.
Yeah, I think the show's about out of gas.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about wrapping it up and go off there. Thank you,
were
everybody,
thinking
for
about
watching.
wrapping it up an hour ago.
I know, but you guys kept going, so.
One conversation later.
Yeah, and I just need to finish my beer and try and forget about that gas pump story. Thank you guys very much. Good night, good luck, and don't fucking move.
Go to France.
Yeah.
Right.